Hey everyone, this is a video to help you with this part of your project where we're going to be looking at solving a quadratic equation using a table of values. So for this slide, Carlos's favorite way of solving is to make a table of values for x and find the solutions by inspecting the table. You are asked to do that with this equation. I am going to do one very similarly so that you can follow along and then apply that to the problem within your project. So here I have a very similar quadratic equation. I'm going to start by first just writing it in what we would call standard form. So I'm going to move this to the other side. So I'm going to subtract that over. Now it's set equal to 0. So what this equation is reading to me is saying what values of x make that so what values of inputs make this equal 0. So what inputs can I get an output of 0? So a general table of values, we think about x and y, but we're not looking for any values of x and y. We want a very specific output. We want that output to be equal to 0. So I'm going to start by guessing what I think might work for the value of x to get me that 0. So I'm going to guess it's -3. So if I'm saying this is my input, I need to plug that into my function here. So that would look like 2 times this -3 plus 3 times the -3 minus 2. So, oh, I forgot my squared. That would have really messed me up. So following order of operations, I'm doing my exponents first. So 2 times 9, this will be -9 minus 2. So here I would have 18 minus 9 minus 2. So I'd have 9 minus 2 is 7. Okay, that is not getting me that output of 0, so that is not going to work. Not going to work. Okay, but what if I chose a different number, like -2? So if I chose -2, I would have 2 times this -2 squared plus 3 times the -2 minus 2. So following order of operations, I would have this is 2 times 4. This is multiplying to get a -6 minus 2. So I have 8 minus 6 minus 2. 8 minus 6 is 2 minus 2 is 0. Okay, we got a 0. So this is a solution. I figured out what value of x gets me that desired output that I'm looking for, which is 0. So I have one solution, but as we know, quadratic solutions could have two. So I'm going to keep going. If I plugged in a -1, I will save you that plugging and chugging, but if I do that, I should get out a -3. If I plug in a 0, so 0, 0 here, I should get out a -2. So neither of these are working for solutions right now. And then if I plug in a 1, replace the x's with 1, I should get out a 3. Okay, so that is still not a solution, but something really, really interesting is happening right here. I'm moving from a negative value to a positive value. Think about what number you have to move over to go from a negative to a positive. Somewhere in between here gets me that output of 0. So somewhere in between my input of 0 and my input of 1 will get me that output of 0 that I'm needing. So what's in between? I'm going to guess a 1/2. So if I plug in a 1/2 right here, I should get a 0. I do get a 0. You can double check me, but 2 1/2 squared plus 3 times 1/2 minus 2. I would square this, plus this would be 3/2 minus 2. 2 times 1/4 is 1/2 plus 3/2 minus 2. 1/2 plus 3/2 gets me 4/2. 4/2 is really 2. 2 minus 2, 0. So I have now found my two solutions. My two solutions are x equaling -2 and a +1/2. So that is how I would use a table of values.